Hi everyone, this is Jamil Jammer from thelawofbusiness.com, and today I'm doing a book recommendation, a book review. This is a book series I'm starting, books every entrepreneur should read. It's called Books Every Entrepreneur Should Read, and the first book I recommend every entrepreneur should read is the first book I read. I think it was the first book I read. It was either this book or Robert Kiyosaki's book, but it's one or the other. It's a real awesome book. It was published in 1937 by the author Napoleon Hill, and it's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a very popular book. Millions of copies have been sold, so I'm sure you've heard of it. And it's a real awesome book. I think it was the first book I read, or if not, it was probably the first book I read. This or Robert Kiyosaki's book. And this book, Think and Grow Rich, it was published in 1937 and it's still popular. That's how good this book is. And Napoleon Hill, let me just tell you who Napoleon Hill is. Let me tell you a bit about Napoleon Hill. Now, Napoleon Hill, well, he's an author, he's a great author. And Napoleon Hill was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie. And Andrew Carnegie was the richest man of his time. He was worth approximately $300 billion. He was an entrepreneur, he was an immigrant from Scotland, and he became an entrepreneur. And he was worth $300 billion, and he's the one who commissioned Napoleon Hill to basically write this book. And Napoleon Hill, he accepted the commission, and he accepted it, and he came up with a book, Think and Grow Rich. And he didn't just interview Andrew Carnegie, he interviewed and observed all the highly successful people at that time. One of them was Henry Ford as well. And this book, it has awesome reviews. It has helped many people, and it's sold millions of copies have been sold, and it's been around since 1937, and it's still people are still buying this book. And this book really helps you to change your mindset about business, about money, really. Think and grow rich. Can you think and grow rich? Do you just sit there and not do nothing? It starts with a mindset. It starts with the way you think. Before you can take action, before we act, we always think about it first, don't we? It starts in our mind. It starts within. So yeah, you can think and grow rich. It starts in a mind. Before you can take action on anything, it starts with a mind. So yeah, you can think and grow rich. I gave this book to a friend of mine, and he absolutely loved the book. He had never heard of it before. He absolutely loved the book, and then he borrowed it to his friend, and his friend absolutely loved the book. They were like really obsessed with this book. They really enjoyed it. So it's a good book to read. It can be found anywhere. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It can be found in your local bookshop. It's a very popular book. It's very easy. It's very easy to find. Some books are hard to find, but this book is very easy to find. And some of the chapters of this book are, it talks about basically mostly the mind ways. It's called Think and Grow Rich, so it's to do with mindset mostly. And Napoleon Hill talks about thoughts being things. Thoughts are basically things. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are very powerful. And Napoleon Hill also talks about desire, having faith. Also, he talks about auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is what you say to yourself. And also having specialized knowledge. It's good to have a skill. Like if you look at the highly successful people, they're skilled. A lot of them are skilled in something. You could be skilled in, I don't know, you could be skilled, like Bill Gates is skilled in coding. You could be skilled in sales. You know what I mean? It's good to have a specialized knowledge about something. You basically learn a skill and master it. Having a good imagination. He talks about having a good imagination. Organized planning. You got a plan. And also you need to make decisions. You need to make decisions and act. You need to make decisions. And also persistence. Being persistent is more important than being intelligent. So you can't give up. You know what I mean? Some of the most successful entrepreneurs, most millionaires, they fail at least 3 times. And then finally they become successful as well. So you can't just give up. Also, there's another story. There's another story about the 3 feet from gold, like the people who were digging. They were 3 feet away from gold. They were digging for gold. They were digging. They were 3 feet away from gold, and then they gave up. And then somebody else started digging, and then they found the gold. So it's very good to be persistent and never give up. Also, the power of the mastermind. A mastermind basically is a group of people, group of friends that help each other. That's my definition of a mastermind. A group of people, group of friends that support and help each other. So Napoleon Hill talks about the power of the mastermind, and other things which you have to you have to get the book to find out. It talks about the subconscious mind, how powerful it is, the brain, and other awesome things. That's just the chapters. It's an easy read. It's easy to. Although it was written in 1937, it's still very easy to understand. And some of the quotes, I'll tell you some of the quotes, some of Napoleon Hill's quotes before we go. Some of the quotes, basically, Napoleon Hill's quotes. Here's one quote from Napoleon Hill: the starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in your mind. Weak desires brings weak results, just as a small fire makes a small amount of heat. That's one of Napoleon Hill's quotes. Another one by Napoleon Hill: you are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. That's another quote by Napoleon Hill. There's many awesome quotes. When defeat comes, accept it. Oh, we talked about not giving up, but he's talking about. Let me just finish the quote. When defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once more toward your coveted goal. Basically, if a plan doesn't work, that means the plan is not good. So you shouldn't give up. Basically, it's not talking about giving up. But he's saying rebuild those plans, make another plan, and set sail once more. Make another plan and try again. So you're not really giving up. Basically, that plan hasn't worked, so you need to try another plan. Another quote by Napoleon Hill. This is a real awesome quote. Before success comes in any man's life, he is sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failure. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is to quit. That is exactly what the majority of men do. More than 500 of the most successful men he interviewed told him their greatest success came just one step beyond the point at which defeat had overtaken them. Basically, they didn't give up, and they didn't give up. Basically, although many calamities befell them, they never gave up. There's many awesome quotes by Napoleon Hill. You can find them on Google. Just search on Google. You can find Napoleon Hill's awesome quotes. The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge. See, you gotta keep seeking knowledge. And I love this quote. This quote is the one I remember the most from the book. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. That's an awesome quote. That's the quote I remember the most from the book. And another awesome quote: happiness is found in doing, not merely possessing. A lot of people think they're going to get happy by having a nice car, a nice house, nice clothes. All that stuff is good, but real happiness comes from setting goals and achieving them. Working towards your goals. It may be while you're working is very hard, but once you achieve the goal, the happiness you're going to feel is just incredible. Another awesome quote by Napoleon Hill is: every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And there's many awesome quotes. More gold had been mined from the mind of men than earth itself. More gold had been mined from the mind of men than the earth itself. More gold had been mined from the mind of men than the earth itself. There's many awesome quotes by Napoleon Hill. That's just one of them. So this is my first book recommendation. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You can find this book anywhere. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and maybe even your local library. It's a very popular book. It was published in 1937, and this is my first book recommendation in every in books every entrepreneur should read. Go get it.